Hello, everyone. Today I'm talking about 10 hard rock and heavy metal records that turned 50 years old in 2026. We're talking about records from 1976 here. Some of these albums are very iconic, very influential, and some of these are a little controversial in a sense. It's crazy some of these bands are still putting out music till this day, still touring. It's cool. It's cool they're still around and putting out good quality, in my opinion, when it comes to a few of these bands. But anyway, let's get into it. And before I do, make sure to like and subscribe and check me out on Patreon too. Exclusive content on there. The link is in the description below. Anyway, let's get into the list. 10 hard rock and heavy metal records that turned 50 years old this year. The first album we're talking about on this list is Sad Wings of Destiny from Judas Priest, a legendary second album from the band. Victim of Changes is one of the best songs they ever did. Insane track list here. The Ripper, Deceiver, Tyrant, Genocide. Insanely good stuff. Really carving out the path for heavy metal here. Extremely iconic as well. One of their best records. Very good songwriting on here. Next up, Destroyer from Kiss, turning 50 years old this year. Casablanca Records. Some solid songwriting from the band. Bob Ezrin comes in to produce, and his influence is very apparent on here. It's produced pretty nicely, but the samples are just way too much. The whole diner thing, the kid yelling and screaming, it's kind of annoying. But Detroit Rock City is a classic. God of Thunder is really good. There's a lot of great songs on Destroyer, and it's crazy it's turning 50 years old this year in 2026. Next up, Aerosmith Rocks turns 50 this year, their fourth album. Such a great album from them. I think their best. I think their best album. It's heavy, it's raw, it's got this loose feel to it. Back in the saddle. Famously, a lot of substance abuse going on at this time in the writing and recording process, but Last Child, nobody's fault. There's some great cuts on here. One of the best records from Aerosmith. Next up, I'm talking about a record that's a little controversial, I think, amongst the fan base. High and Mighty from Uriah Heep. Not the band's best, and there are some great riffs on here. Don't get me wrong. There's some amazing riffage, but they do seem a little burnt out on this record, and there's a lot of pop elements I'm not super into. One Way or Another is a pretty solid track, though, and I think this is a little overlooked and underrated from Uriah Heep, but it's cool it's turning 50 this year. Next is an album from my favorite band of all time, Technical Ecstasy for Black Sabbath, 50-year anniversary. How awesome is that? Yeah, it's kind of where the cracks begin to show here for the Ozzy era of Black Sabbath. There's plenty to like, though. The production is excellent, and you get Backstreet Kids, which kicks off the record. Excellent song. You got Gypsy, you got Dirty Women, which is a classic from them. A very solid album, and maybe overlooked even from Black Sabbath. Here we go, maybe one of the most famous records from 1976 when it comes to hard rock and heavy metal. High Voltage, AC/DC. This is how you do it. This is how you do a debut, folks. Well, it's an international release. It's a little confusing. It's a little confusing, but I'm going to call this their debut here. Sold 3 million copies in the U.S., Come on, A Long Way to the Top, The Jack, the title track, one of the most classic records from 1976. The next album I'm talking about has an album cover that looks like it was taken out of the Epstein files. I'm talking about Virgin Killer from the Scorpions. I don't know how they got away with this album cover, but I have to admit the songs on it are pretty solid. We got the title track, Catch Your Train, Hellcat, some solid stuff. Very simplistic song structure, but the guitar work is excellent. Very memorable, very catchy. One of their best albums easily. Since we're on the topic, let's talk about more disturbing album art. This next album is also from 1976. No Heavy Petting from UFO. I've always wanted to punch that monkey in the face. What is it doing to that woman? I don't know, but I do not like it. Regardless, the keyboards are fantastic. The keyboards are great. They had like a nice layer to the rhythm section here. Belladonna is a solid ballad too. I like it. It's a pretty good album from UFO. Next up, a very iconic record, Day at the Races from Queen. This is a lot like Night at the Opera. It is the sister record to that album where you have that mix of ballads and heavier tracks. And this is a very solid album. Unfortunately, it's kind of in the shadow of A Night at the Opera. And I think it's one of the best albums when it comes to Queen in general. There's a lot of great stuff on here. White Man, Millionaire Waltz, Tie Your Mother Down. Just such a solid record. Lastly, let's talk about one of the most iconic heavy metal albums, in my opinion, Rainbow Rising from Rainbow. Extremely influential as well. Just some great kick-ass riffage on here. So good. Later, the sound on this record would evolve into what we now know as power metal. 33 minutes. Doesn't waste a second. Truly. Tear It Woman. Starstruck. A Light in the Black. One of the best records from 1976. Well, there you have it. 10 hard rock and heavy metal records that turn 50 in 2026. How crazy is that? Well, hey, if you did buy these albums in 76, I'm glad you're still alive to watch this video. This was a ton of fun to put together. And again, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe and check me out on Patreon too for exclusive content. It really helps me out. I am Brandon Battick, and this has been Disturbing the Priest.
It's death! I've just seen death!